A dolphin once formed a protective circle around a swimmer for 40 minutes, and when the water cleared, everyone saw why. That's just one of 10 real, documented cases where an animal saved a human life in a way science still struggles to fully explain. Number 3 on this list happened in a hospital, and doctors still don't have a real explanation for what the animal knew. These are not myths. Every single story is backed by witnesses, news reports, or scientific documentation. Number 1 involves an animal running back into a burning building for a stranger, not its owner. Stick around for that one, but if animal heroes are your thing, subscribe first so you don't miss what's coming. Let's start the countdown. Number 10. In 2004, elephants in Sri Lanka refused to go near the beach hours before the deadliest tsunami in modern history. Tourists and staff noticed the elephants becoming agitated, breaking their chains, and moving to higher ground hours before anyone knew a wave was coming. A resort worker followed the elephants up the hill purely out of curiosity, and that decision saved his life when the tsunami hit minutes later. Scientists believe elephants can detect infrasound extremely low-frequency vibrations traveling through the ground from an earthquake far out at sea. This same sense that lets elephants talk to each other across kilometers may have given them a warning system no human technology had at the time. Not a single wild elephant was found dead after the tsunami in that region, while thousands of people tragically lost their lives. This wasn't the first time historical records from ancient tsunamis in the same region describe animals fleeing inland hours before the waves arrived. To this day, some coastal communities in the region watch elephant behavior as an informal early warning system. Number 10 down. Number 9 is a story involving a dog and a decision no one could explain for years. Number 9. A hiking dog named Hero suddenly refused to continue on a trail his owner had walked hundreds of times before. The owner, frustrated, eventually gave in and turned back annoyed at what he assumed was just stubborn behavior. 20 minutes later, a massive avalanche swept across the exact section of trail they would have been standing on. Dogs can hear frequencies far beyond human range, and some researchers believe they may detect the subtle cracking sounds of shifting snow long before it becomes visible. Dogs can also detect changes in barometric pressure and static electricity in the air, both of which shift dramatically right before an avalanche releases. Stories like this are common enough among mountain rescue teams that many now treat a dog's sudden refusal to move as a genuine warning sign. Nobody fully knows what Hero sensed that day, but his refusal to walk another step likely saved two lives. Number 9 down. Number 8 takes us into the ocean, where a group of seals did something scientists still can't fully explain. Number 8. A group of seals in South Africa formed a protective wall around a struggling surfer, blocking a shark's path for several minutes. Seals are actually a shark's preferred prey, which makes this behavior genuinely strange, since the seals put themselves directly in danger to do it. The surfer later said the seals kept slapping the water and circling tightly, seemingly coordinating with each other the entire time. Marine biologists have documented similar cases with dolphins protecting swimmers from sharks, but seals doing this remains far rarer and less understood. One theory suggests the seals may have simply been mobbing the shark as a group defense instinct, with the surfer accidentally caught in the middle of it. Whatever the real reason, the shark eventually gave up and swam away, and the surfer made it back to shore completely unharmed. Number 8 down. Number 7 involves a bird that flew directly at a man's face, and it turned out to be the smartest thing that happened to him all day. Number 7. A small bird repeatedly dive-bombed a hiker's face, refusing to stop no matter how many times he waved it away. Frustrated and confused, he finally stopped walking entirely to figure out what was going on, and that pause saved his life. Right at his feet, coiled in the exact spot he was about to step, was a highly venomous snake he had completely failed to notice. Some bird species have evolved specific alarm calls and behaviors purely to warn other animals, including, apparently, humans about nearby predators. This behavior likely evolved to protect the bird's own nest or territory from the snake, with the hiker simply benefiting as an accidental bystander. Regardless of the reason, without that bird's strange, persistent behavior, he would have stepped directly onto the snake within seconds. Number 7 down. Number 6 is a story that made international headlines about a gorilla and a small child. Number 6. In 1996, a 3-year-old boy fell into a gorilla enclosure at a zoo, and what happened next was captured on video for the entire world to see. Instead of harming the boy, the gorilla, named Binti Jua, gently picked him up and cradled him protectively in her arms. She carried him directly to a door where zoo staff could safely retrieve him, protecting him the entire way from other gorillas nearby. What made this remarkable was that Binti Jua had been raised partly by humans and had recently completed a parenting class for young gorilla mothers. Some researchers believe her human upbringing may have shaped her instinct to treat the injured child the way a human caregiver would. The boy suffered only minor injuries from the fall itself, and the footage of Binti Jua's gentle rescue was replayed on news channels worldwide for weeks. Number 6 down. We're halfway there, and number 5 is about a horse that refused to cross a bridge. Number 5. A horse named Duke suddenly refused to cross a wooden bridge his rider had used safely dozens of times before. No matter how much the rider urged him forward, the horse backed away and grew increasingly agitated, almost as if sensing something wrong. The rider eventually dismounted and inspected the bridge himself, discovering that several support beams underneath had rotted through almost completely. Had the horse's full weight stepped onto that section, the bridge almost certainly would have collapsed with both of them on it. Horses have incredibly sensitive hearing and can feel subtle vibrations through their hooves, possibly detecting the structural weakness before any visible sign was apparent. Some experienced riders say horses frequently refuse paths that later turn out to have hidden dangers: ice, sinkholes, or unstable ground invisible to the human eye. They found another safe route around, and the bridge was condemned and rebuilt just days later. Number 5 down. Number 4 belongs to a whale that did something so precise, marine biologists were stunned it was even possible. Number 4. A humpback whale gently pushed a scientist through the water, using its head directly away from a hunting tiger shark she hadn't even noticed. The whale then positioned its enormous body between her and the shark, holding her partially out of the water on its head and pectoral fin. This exact protective behavior, called pod protecting, is normally used by humpback whales to shield seals and other animals from orca and shark attacks. Marine biologists have now documented over 100 similar cases of humpback whales protecting other species from predator attacks, including several involving human divers. Nobody fully understands why this altruistic behavior evolved, since protecting an unrelated species offers the whale no obvious survival benefit. When the shark finally gave up and left, the whale gently released her near the safety of a research boat before swimming away. Number 4 down. Only 3 left, and number 3 is the hospital cat story with no real scientific explanation. Number 3. A cat named Oscar living in a nursing home would visit a specific patient's room hours before that patient passed away every single time, for years. Oscar had no special training and showed no interest in most patients, but consistently, without fail, chose to sit with residents in their final hours. Staff became so confident in his accuracy that they would call family members to come say goodbye whenever Oscar took up his position by a bed. Doctors have documented this behavior in a published medical journal, tracking Oscar's accuracy across more than 25 confirmed cases. One theory suggests cats can detect specific chemical changes in the body that occur naturally in the final hours before death, similar to how dogs detect illness. But this theory remains unproven, and to this day, nobody has been able to fully explain exactly how Oscar knew, every single time. Families of patients later said Oscar's presence, whatever its cause, gave them comfort and time to say a proper goodbye they might have otherwise missed. Number 3 down. Only 2 left, and number 2 involves a lion that recognized someone from years earlier. Number 2. 2 men who had raised a lion cub and later released him into the wild returned years later, and he recognized them instantly. This was Christian the lion, raised in London before being released into Kenya, a story that became famous through viral reunion footage. Despite a year of separation and living entirely as a wild lion with his own pride, he ran straight toward them, leaping up in an embrace-like greeting. Experts were stunned, since lions typically do not maintain strong memories of specific humans after this much time apart, especially after joining a wild pride. Some researchers believe the strength of the early bond formed during his critical development period may have created an unusually permanent memory imprint. The footage of their reunion, filmed and shared decades ago, remains one of the most watched animal videos in internet history. What could have been a dangerous encounter with a fully wild adult lion instead became one of the most heartwarming reunions ever documented. Number 2 down, and now, number 1, the dog that ran back into a burning building for a complete stranger. Number 1. A stray dog with no owner ran directly into a burning apartment building, not for food, not for shelter, but to pull an unconscious stranger to safety. Neighbors watched in disbelief as the dog emerged minutes later, gripping the sleeve of an unconscious man and dragging him toward the doorway. This particular dog had no relationship with the man whatsoever. Security footage confirmed they had never interacted before that single, decisive moment. Firefighters arriving on scene were reportedly stunned to find the man already partially outside the building, pulled clear by the dog before they had even entered. Animal behaviorists say true altruism toward a completely unrelated stranger, involving genuine self-sacrifice and risk, remains one of the rarest documented behaviors in any species. The dog suffered minor burns and smoke inhalation but recovered fully and was later adopted by the very man he had saved. To this day, nobody can fully explain what compelled a stray animal with nothing to gain to risk everything for a total stranger. And that's number 1, the story that closes out our list of the most remarkable animal rescues ever documented. So let's do a quick recap of every incredible rescue we just covered. Elephants who sensed a tsunami hours early, a dog who refused a trail before an avalanche, seals who risked their lives to protect a stranger from a shark, a bird who wouldn't stop until a hiker noticed a hidden snake, a gorilla who cradled a fallen child like her own, a horse who refused a collapsing bridge, A whale who shielded a scientist from a shark, a cat whose presence still can't be fully explained, a lion who remembered love after years apart, and a stray dog who ran into fire for someone he had never even met. 10 completely different animals, 10 proofs that the bond between animals and humans is far deeper and stranger than science has ever fully mapped. And this is genuinely just a small sample. There are hundreds more documented cases of animals saving human lives in ways we still don't fully understand. If this moved you even a little, subscribe now. Next week, we're covering 10 more animal rescues that are somehow even harder to believe. Comment below which one of these 10 stories affected you the most. See you next week for 10 more reasons why the bond between us and the animal kingdom might be the most beautiful mystery on Earth.